I think culturally, players are still making the decision to play their normal thing for the most part, except for Sword. I think Sword, people are absolutely going to move away from that, and that is a conscious decision that a lot of people are going to make.
That's great. We'll see how it ends up going. Neeze picking up the Blasters Delta on the spear. Okay, the D-Light not going to be able to connect successfully. Delta already setting up a quick edge guard. Neeze off stage sweating, able to touch. That could have gone so poorly for Neeze so quickly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was very worried that it was going to happen and he was going to lose that stock, and it was going to be like, okay, well, we just got to wash our hands of that. There's the D-Light into the sider and a second sider for the KO.
It is Kaya Diana that ends up being the fastest paced thing that we have seen out of EU so far. It ends up being a Blasters match, a bow match that is giving us some high octane Brawlhalla action here. So we'll see if I end up eating my own words here in a moment. Delta is already coming up with a big lead. Neeze D-Light Sailor looking for the double, able to get the third one though. Oh my goodness.
All right, that GC D-Light was a little bit bold there, but he was looking for the KO move. Now swapping back. Oh, beautiful pickup with the D-Light. Fantastic spacing on that from him to grab Delta right as he was on the ground and get the recovery for the KO off the top.
Yeah, and I believe you have to get like the full spacing of that if it hits a little bit too close. You can only get stuff like an N-Light after it, but it is okay. Neeze though whiffing a D-Light once again. That is another punish for Delta. Okay, Neeze playing back.
I need Neeze to stop D-Lighting. I need him to stop D-Lighting. This is Brawlhalla, brother. People do not touch the ground for very long. I need you to stop D-Lighting, or I need you to GC that D-Light, because almost all of them on the ground have not hit.
Yep. Recovery comes out. That is going to be able to KO off the top. That's right. Your eyes are not betraying you. Bow recovery has actually gotten a KO. Bow is so difficult to KO with Bow sometimes, so my heart goes out to Delta. But he was able to get two stocks like that already. Very nicely done. Spear, what's he going to be able to make happen? Neeze, D-Light, N-Light. Looking for the downer, not going to be able to get it. N-Light anti-airing and catching the landing.
Neeze, yeah, unless it's like a true combo follow-up like we saw him hit the D-Light into the N-Light. Other than that, he's getting like one hit at a time. He's playing the straight hit game, and Delta just isn't. Delta is playing string game for sure. He's doing such a good job. Almost dodges back into that, but he was too vertical for that D-Sig to hit. Come on, Neeze! You gotta know the spacing on that, brother! You're not hitting the D-Sig from there!
Okay, looking for the Ned Sig, not going to be able to get it. Delta just able to land with that neutral sider as well, just knocking these away. They're exchanging hits. Everybody is swinging. Everybody is just attacking at the moment. Delta makes it back on. Dash jump. Sarah, is that going to be enough to take out the stock here on Neeze? He goes for the double. It doesn't matter if it didn't get the two hits of it, excuse me. He was able to chase dodge. He was able to make it back on for the second. Delta, Neeze, what is happening? What is going on?
He's just having some like spaghetti mode punishes here, and maybe he just needs to like work that out of his system and like get warmed up enough that he can punish properly. He can punish in the ways that like we've known Neeze as a very good player in this game, who's been relevant for an absurdly long amount of time compared to some other people. Like that's something that's like really cool about Brawlhalla is we have like a handful, I would say more than a handful. Like we have a lot of players who have been relevant for a really, really, really long time. Now Neeze has certainly taken a break and taken a step back here recently, but still, like he's been a relevant player for years in this scene, and so we're just not seeing that from him here. And I don't know if this is a like we got to break the rust off some of these bones, or if he just needs like one game to warm up.
I would just hope to see a little bit less, spaghetti. That was like a little bit of angel hair. Hopefully it doesn't progress into a full-on thick spaghettoni going into this one. We'll see how it ends up going in this next game. Delta able to get the D-Light. Nice. D-Light Sailor. Classic. Neutrally the double. Not able to get the Sailor to finish. They're both so aggressive. Side-Light Sailor. True combo. Neeze going off stage. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he tries to get around that, but he was too stacked. Delta ended up picking up.
He's done.
Not going to have a dodge in time. You saw him hold that dodge for the end. If he had a recovery, then you can steer that recovery so far on blasters to the left and the right. But he's not able to get it. But we're seeing, like, it seems like his blasters are a little bit more dialed this game. Look at that right there. The max range GC D-Light into the weapon, pick up neutral air, utilizing all the stun that D-Light has.
Yeah, beautifully, beautifully done. Delta How is he going to be able to continue this lead? Neeze, how are you going to be able to get this KO? Because he's not been connecting a whole lot of D-Lights here at the end. Oh my gosh, the coverage from Delta. That was an amazing D-Sig. Okay, Neeze, he's able to get the Sailor. He's not going to be able to get the weapon toss, though. Is he going to be able to go for the GC D-Light? It does not actually connect. Blasters now. You got to get that side light Sailor. That's going to be it. True combo. Nice non-committal. You get that poke. It combos. It does the job.
And it's going to be like virtually impossible for Delta to punish the sidelight from that situation. Nice down air.
Down
Yep.
air. So, looking for another down air. Not going to be able to get it. Again, just not going to be able to get it through those platforms. Gotta be careful.
So notice that Neeze has seemingly stopped doing as many D-Lights. He started them in the beginning, which is like, that's sort of the better time you want to use it when you're a Blasters player, so especially if they're like white or in the very, very early stages of yellow, you hit the D-Light dash jump there. And then unfortunately, Neeze didn't hit the follow-up after that. He didn't hit a side light or his Sair after that. Okay, there's the D-Light side air. Yeah, perfect read on that Dair on the movement.
Dodge. Yeah, that's right. Just so active, such a nice punish there. Delta able to catch the jump. They're both leading each other, but it is Delta who is consistently coming out a little bit more on top. He's going out there for the weapon toss. Did he just...
What are you
Get
doing,
back on, man.
brother?
Get back
What
on.
are you doing, brother? Pick up a weapon, brother, please!
Okay. Well...
Oh, Neeze, come on! I'm losing my mind here yet again. Catching the D-Sig right after he's used it several times now to catch an option to see Neeze moving back towards him.
Okay.
No, he didn't. He did in the taunt, he did not in the game.
He did the taunt, he did not in the game. Well, it seems like every single time there's a weapon toss, I see a little bit more spaghetti coming out of his pockets. Every single time. Okay, we gotta put it back in, man. We gotta put it back in. There's a lot of whiff signatures. There was a lot of weapon tosses, a lot of offstage commitments, and they didn't really work out all that well for these. He wasn't able to get the hits that he wanted. They didn't connect. He put himself in some dangerous positions, but he's opening off hot at the moment. And light, weapon starving Delta here for the moment. Not able to get the D-Light. Delta just able to land with Sin and pick up a bow of his own.
Nice down air. Again, that's like standard Blasters gameplay, is find the down air and then wait to see what your opponent is going to do. And then hopefully you get the dodge after that. You get the follow-up second down air, and then you go for the GCP light in the recovery or the side light after that. It's really up to you to be a creative player after that point. Okay, there's the D-Light side air. Toss of the weapon. Going back over to the Blasters. Smart move. Nice!
Oh, nicely done. That was the first time I believe that we've seen the Blasters side sig all game, all set. And you know what? It connected. It called out Delta. Neeze now has a lead. Okay, he's picking it up. He's doing it.
Okay, that time he went for the D-Light side light there instead of the D-Light dash up down air, blah, 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 that we talked about earlier. Don't we just love Blasters gameplay? Isn't this great? Are we having such a great time? I'm having a great time.
This is good. This is good. This is excellent. This is aggressive Blasters gameplay, in fact, which is definitely a treat for us all. At home, the NSYNC doesn't end up getting fired.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Delta. Ooh, that was an optimal punish. I don't know what that D-Sig was about. What did you think about it?
I mean, like, he's caught Neeze with that D6 several times. Except this time he didn't, he just like threw it out raw. He didn't go for like one hit and then wait for Neeze to either fade back in or dodge back in, where then he can hit the D-Sig like he has previously. I was hoping we were going to get potentially a second recovery, like placed right in the middle of that ground pound to get away from it, or maybe a nair or something like that. It seemed like Neeze wasn't ready for it, or couldn't get it out in time. Nice attempt with the ground pound though. I love that. Going Lores mode.
Landing with the Sailor, looking for the double. Neeze, good coverage with the end light, just such an active button. Delta occupying the ground, side light, dashing in, looking for the D-Sig again, and Neeze is able to find another punish on it. Another D-Light, looking for the neutraler after D-Light. Neeze is coming alive. This is some peak Blasters gameplay.
Neutral air just barely sending off screen into the blast zone for just a moment, so I don't think like a grounded nair, even maybe one jump height up, is going to be enough just yet from the bow. But a recovery should do it.
Oh! The D-Light! Wow! The double Sailor, nicely done. Delta taking that stock, taking Neeze to his last, but Neeze needs just about anything to be able to close out this game now.
Yeah, that was a great string from Delta, calling out the spot dodge from Neeze. Nice down air, though. In the air, Spear doesn't have, like, a lot to deal with that in that position. He was throwing out the nairs, but the timing from Neeze was just too good. The in-light KOs off the top, and a much, much, much better game from Neeze.
Is this potentially the start of a release video? We'll just have to find out. Neeze is picking up a lot of momentum. He's definitely punishing Delta on some whiffed signatures. And then just, I feel like, you know, his ledge trapping, especially with Blasters and Light, with Blasters D-Light, have been really coming alive. His spacing is definitely tightening up. Usually in the beginning of a game, in the beginning of a set with a Blasters player, you know, that's when people tend to get their opponents in their blind spots more often than not, right? They don't have, like, these spacing locked down. They don't know how to play away enough. It's a very subtle game that you have to play. And it seems like Neeze is beginning to play that well. Bow on hand, bow against Spear. Let's see what he's able to do. He gets a neutral air. Delta landing with a down air. You know, I feel like both of them, they're both like swinging out of disadvantage really often. And just like catching each other, going for like immediate follow-ups, you know?
Yes, absolutely. That's been happening so often. But we've also seen both of them like catch each other's dodges. There's the ground pound. He could have gone for the neutral air, but I think he wanted to stay close enough to not fall down into the blender that Delta was throwing out there with the D-Sig. Ooh, another neutral air. The juggling is really strong so far.
Sticking to the Spear because he can get that recovery. Nice coverage just like that. Delta coming up with a very nice lead at the moment. Neeze dashing in, dashing out, able to get that side light, just kicking Delta away, landing with the fist. Okay.
Both of them unarmed. Delta, the weapon spawn comes right down on top of his head. He's able to grab that one. Neeze, he's able to get away far enough to get over and grab the blasters. What are you doing, brother? He just threw that out when his opponent was like half of the stage away. He was moving towards him, but still nice. Half the stage away. Fantastic option there. Recognizing that in the moment after the move was thrown out from Delta. Great movement, great timing.
I can't believe it was that unsafe on the end. Oh my gosh, yeah, you're just able to GCD, like able to get the ground pound. Neeze, get back onto the stage. You don't want to go out because look at what happens when you go off stage. He gets the neutral, the chase dodge, and he punches. He makes it back from the depths below. Is what I would say.
Ooh, Delta's gonna hit him with the response.
Back down.
Yep. There's the D-Light into the ground pound, and Neeze has had like some solid moves this game, but he's still a full stock behind at this point.
Yes, he is. He needs a way to be able to make it back on. He needs a way to be able to make this comeback. Sarah putting Delta off stage. He goes out there for the ground pound again. Is he going to get punished? We're going to hit the answer is yes.
It's got to be over. It's not over.
What?
Okay, it's still not over. Oh. He hit the long-range D-Light, and he faded too far to the right with the ground pound that he landed on the stage. That's so tough. That could have been the stock there.
They're playing like animals.
Nice.
Like both of them. He's going out there. He used up all of his resources.
Neeze, brother, okay. If Delta had the spear in that moment, that was for sure a down air in the end of the game.
D-Light said, is that going to be it? Yes, it will be. Delta securing the game, securing the set. Going to be knocking Neeze out here. But oh my god, the forward button. Man, that thing was held down the entire time. Neeze went off stage. He went deep. Was he successful for it? No. Was it cool? Yeah, absolutely. It was fun.
Yeah, that moment right there that we're watching on the